I'm joined by LJ Krumenacker here, Idaho paleontologist extraordinaire, and he's been gracious enough to let me stay at his house overnight. And we were planning on doing a live stream from the museum today, but I've been having technical difficulties with the streaming setup. Can't get the mobile modems to work properly, so we're improvising here, and we're gonna do some talking about Idaho paleontology, and LJ's going to tell us a little bit about his work digging up dinosaurs here in the Gem State, and it's going to be pretty cool. So yeah, here we've got the chat right there. Can you see that all right?
Yeah, there we go.
Claire Burr, she's one of our loyal moderators here, big supporter of the channel. She says hello and welcome. Thanks so much for joining us, and she's also shouting you out right there. There's the that little command that I set up with your PayPal link and everything.
Oh, thank you, Claire.
So,
appreciate it.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome everybody. At the beginning of these broadcasts, during a normal one, I just kind of like to shout out people who are here in the chat. Mm-hmm. So Izzy Bladder, Nothing More Variant, good to see all of you. Welcome everybody. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Apologies if I get a little waitress during this. I don't know how it goes.
Don't sweat.
And I hope it's not, not annoying or anything. Yeah. Somebody was saying that they heard some birds. Should we take a look at those zebra?
The zebra finches.
Yeah, let's
totally fine.
Do they have names?
Let's see. Batman and Rico. Sean, is that the name of our zebra finches?
Yeah.
Batman and Rico.
Right.
I don't remember which is which.
Well, hello.
The dark one.
Oh.
It's funny. I walked in here for the first time. I'm like, is that a squeaky toy going off? Is there a dog playing with a squeaky toy? But no. Little zebra finches, they are beautiful.
I like them. They're fun to listen to and have around.
Yeah, little theropods. Very cool. So yeah. Shoot, I'm sure we're going to be doing a lot of talking about Eryctodromius. First of all, I'm sure we'll get to that in a minute. People in chat are loving the birds there. Tiny dinosaurs, indeed. And there's my birds are dinosaurs emotes. They're a little hard to see.
Oh, nice.
I wonder if I can make this bigger. Probably not. It's a small screen.
Oh, no worries.
But yeah. And here, maybe I can... No, I don't think I can make that bigger. That's okay, though. But yeah, shoot. Just as first off, maybe... why don't we do like a quick roster of the different dinosaurs that we know about from Idaho so far?
Okay.
Just like, let's rattle them off, like, off the top of your head.
Okay. So we've got the most common one, Eryctodromius, little burrowing orodromine ornithischian dinosaur. Just last week I had a paper come out on a little tyrannosauroid that's similar to Moros and Susqueterranus.
Very cool. We talked about that live on stream, what was it? Was it last week or the week before?
I forget.
yeah. But that was really cool. Bit of your TEDx talk on that too.
Oh yeah,
which was pretty neat.
So let's see, we got those from a good partial skeleton that I'm slowly getting worked on at the Idaho Museum of Natural History with some student volunteers. We're the biggest dinosaur we know of from Idaho, probably new species. Let's see, we have some sort of little raptors, so to speak, probably 2 or 3 different types, just judging on the teeth. We have iguanodontian or hadrosauroid dinosaurs known from teeth. Let's see, am I missing anybody other than that? We do have different crocs, new croc species in the pipeline coming along, throw them out too. Very cool. Yeah. And some different mammals, Cretaceous mammals as well. So
yeah, neat. One of our viewers who's hard of hearing, hi Izzy, it's good to see you. Unfortunately, I don't have the closed captioning working with this whole setup. Normally I have closed captioning if I'm in my office. So... yeah, I'll try not to obscure my face or anything, Izzy, so you can read my lips.
I'll do the same for you, Izzy, here.
Yeah. But so great to have everybody here. Holy cow, we've already got 66 people watching just right now.
Oh, nice.
So yeah. LJ, would you maybe want to talk a little bit about your background and like, how did you get interested in paleontology in the first place?
Oh, I started off as just a rock hounding kid in Boy Scouts. I remember finding some fossils on a camp out. And I just took up an interest from there. Whenever I was out, I'd look at the rocks, see if I could find fossils. Mm-hmm. Started talking to my advisor at the time at Idaho State, the late Dr. Bill Ackerston. And He encouraged me on fossil collecting. I just did it for fun and decided, well, if I can turn this into a job, then hell yeah, why not?
Awesome. Well, cool. So you went to, was it BYU for undergrad?
So I did Idaho State for my undergrad.
Oh, okay, cool.
BYU for master's, and Montana State for my PhD.
Yeah, and that's where we met at Montana State back when I was in Montana. Yeah, very cool. And Dave was your doctoral advisor, right?
Yeah, Dr. Dave Riccio, tall, gangly, redhead guy.
Cool guy. Hopefully I can have him on an interview at some point as well. He's the Troodon guy for everybody who, you know. But yeah, Dave works on dinosaur reproduction and eggshells and taphonomy and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So, and he was lead author on the original Rictodromeus paper, right?
Yep, I believe so, if I remember right.
World's first burrowing dinosaur, which
cool.
We've got a bunch of remains from here in Idaho as well. I was hoping I could show everybody that at the museum today, but technical difficulties. Maybe another time. But yeah. Don't we have some Ericto stuff that we could?
Yeah, I can show you. You want me to grab the 3D?
If you wouldn't mind, yeah.
Sure.
Does it move off of the table there?
Yeah, I can just bring it in here.
Oh, cool. Awesome. You're in for a treat, everybody. This is going to be really neat.
Hi there. Doubled up.
Oh, and also Crazy Nut DK, thank you so much for the 8 months of support. I really appreciate that. Holy cow. and taphonomy. We'll talk about that in just a second. We'll talk about taphonomy as well and why it's so important. Let me adjust this camera real quick. It's a little bit wonky.
Go.
Oh, check that out. Holy cow.
If that's a good angle or not.
That is awesome. Holy moly. So, yeah, this is one of these small, beaky, plant-eating dinosaurs, little two-legged ones like I talk about on the channel all the time. What makes a Rictodromeus special to you, LJ? Like, why do you think it's so cool?
I think it's cool because with dinosaurs, a lot of the time, and when the first specimen, the holotype, was Phil, it was actually, this is a subadult. There were two individuals about this size found in the bottom of the burrow, as well as a presumable adult that's about twice as big. And so we have evidence that these animals actually lived as families or some sort of communal group down in their burrows. We have the one from Montana that has babies in the adult, the holotype. And we have 2 or 3 specimens from Idaho where, same thing, you'll find groups of adults and kids together, showing that these are very family lifestyle sort of little dinos, which is pretty cool. I like to imagine them as dinosaur versions of groundhogs. There's actually a little bit of evidence they might have lived in colonies like that.
Oh, neat.
So you can imagine this is like the dinosaur version of a groundhog.
Very, very cool. Yeah. I remember reading through the original paper, there were a few features on the skeleton. Maybe we could point those out. Things that are kind of associated with burrowing, potentially.
Yeah. So let me show you. I'm going to kind of rotate this around. So in the skull here, you've got a bone called the premaxilla. There's kind of the front upper beak right here. And in the premaxilla, in a Rictodromeus, the bones are fused. There's usually a left and a right. But in a Rictodromeus, they're fused, showing this was stronger than normal, and it's thought it's maybe this guy was using his beak to help burrow.
Kind of like shoveling dirt with that almost?
Yeah, shoveling dirt with his beak. If you look at the scapula right here, the shoulder blade, usually in dinosaurs it's straight like this and doesn't have this downward curve. This downward curve gives more area for muscle attachment, probably for this guy using his arms to help dig. And there's also a scapular spine right up here. It's a little bit hard to see on this 3D print, but this is a bit of an elongate spine at the top here, and that would be for more muscle attachments. And also, you can't quite see it here, but in the femoral heads right here, so the thigh bone, in the actual femoral heads, they come out not at a horizontal angle, but at a roughly 35, 45 degree angle.
I didn't know that, wow.
That maybe makes it so the animal could splay its legs out and brace itself so it could hold its position while it's digging as well.
Interesting.
For a little bit more stability.
So it's like a slightly bow-legged ornithopod.
Yeah, like at least maybe apparently had a possibility to do that. That's my hypothesis. That's
interesting.
In a paper soon to be out, hopefully.
I can see that there, where there's like kind of a slight up angle to the, is it the fourth trochanter?
So the femoral head right there.
Femoral head, right, yeah.
Oh, and one other burrowing adaptation. So right here's the sacrum. This guy has an extra dorsal, so basically rib-bearing or back vertebra that's fused into the sacrum to provide stability as well. He's got severed vertebrae in the sacrum if you look at it closely.
Interesting. And most dinosaurs have 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Really cool. And what about can you see the enlarged olecranon processes on this guy? This is a juvenile, right? So it might not be as pronounced.
Yeah, it's not showing up as much on here, so.
Yeah, your olecranon process, that's basically what people call like your funny bone. That's the olecranon process, right? On your ulna? That like people...
Yeah, yep.
You bang it and it hurts really bad.
Right about there.
Yeah. So basically like the elbow of this animal, in the adults, it's pretty hypertrophied. It's pretty big, like it is in critters like armadillos and stuff. And it's a sign these guys had pretty powerful arms, maybe for digging. So yeah, very cool. Thanks for showing us this. This is really neat.
Yeah, happy to. I like ricto, so.
I love the skull too. Those like premaxillary teeth are really neat.
Yeah, here, I'll get the bigger skull. So
oh, nice, yeah. It reminds me of like Hypsilophodon with those premax teeth.
Here you go, the jaw's loose but articulated.
Oh, very neat. That is so cool. Check that out, everybody. So again, little beaky plant-eating dinosaur. I kind of wonder if they would have like a keratinous beak.
I expect it.
Very, very cool. This is so neat.
Some of these little ornithischians / ornithopods, depending how you want to define them, there's a bone called the jugal right here. And on the jugal, on some of these orodromines that belong to the families of horn, kind of like you'd see in Saurus. Ericto doesn't have it, but if you see actual specimen, it's all like there's still some sort of ornamentation there.
Interesting.
But not quite as much as a big horn like you see on Psittacosaurus.
Right, yeah. Really cool. The jugal is basically like the cheekbone for anybody following along at home. Really cool. And we were talking about these in the car yesterday. LJ graciously took me out ammonoid collecting yesterday, which was a ton of fun. Yeah, that was really neat. But we were talking about like the phylogeny, the family tree of these kind of small beaky plant-eating dinosaurs. What we used to call like Hypsilophodontids.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and like the discovery of Eryctodromius, I think, has kind of helped clarify what's going on a little bit, where like you've got orodromines and then are thescelosaurs related to orodromines?
So yeah, orodromines, if I remember correctly, are a subgroup of the thescelosaurids.
Oh, okay.
Or you'll hear them called parksosaurids. But yeah, it's helped clear up the relationships of all these stereotypical little plant-eating dinosaurs that have the same general body plan.
Right. So this guy might look similar to an animal like Dryosaurus, but Dryosaurus is actually a basal iguanodontian, right?
Yep.
So it's kind of interesting how like these different groups of dinosaurs that aren't super closely related, they kind of hit upon the same basic body plans, like being a small two-legged running plant eater. Just worked really well, and these guys are super common. And
yeah,
I mean, as far as Idaho dinosaurs go, these are the most common ones around, right?
These are the most common ones around, and that's atypical because usually the small dinosaurs like this have hollow bones, and just small bones don't preserve as well.
Right.
But there's a whole weird taphonomic story in Idaho as to maybe why these things are more common. So
interesting. Do you think it might have something to do with burrowing too? Like interesting.
That was basically a whole chapter of my PhD dissertation. Was that I suggest these guys are more common because if you're burying yourself in look at it. So that's my hypothesis.
That's really cool. Here, let me PayPal link there.
I appreciate you guys.
Yeah,
Thank
we'll
you.
talk about this in a little bit and more in depth, but LJ is like entirely self-funded. I talk all the time about how many paleontologists are like severely overworked and underpaid, and LJ, he could really use your support. He's doing really cool stuff out here in Idaho, and yeah. Would you want to talk a little bit about, maybe while I'm catching up to chat, about like how make ends meet by like teaching in various places?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So paleontology, a lot of the jobs you're going to end up with is generally either teaching or working at a museum. So I teach right now. I'm actually a 7th grade life science teacher. So I teach biology to 7th graders in Blackfoot, Idaho. And I adjunct at 2 universities and colleges. Adjunct is where you're basically a part-time professor.
And here, let's scoot this to the side a little bit because Orictodromius head's blocking your mouth, so Izzy can't read your lips.
Oh, my apologies, Izzy. Sorry.
No worries.
So yeah, I do adjunct teaching at 2 colleges. I teach paleontology, geology classes at Idaho State in Pocatello, and I teach geology and paleontology classes at the College of Eastern Idaho. So I work those 3 jobs just to keep myself going and have a little bit of funding so I can go out and look for Idaho dinosaurs. And I do have the occasional very generous benefactors. Bob, I'm just mentioning you there, but yes, thank you.
Let me adjust the camera real quick, too. I can put it down angle a little bit, and I think that would help.
Okay.
But yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about yesterday with I just caught up the chat. No super pertinent questions or anything.
Okay.
But if anybody has any questions, don't be shy.
Yeah, ask away.
Yeah. If anybody here is from Idaho, perhaps, and you'd like to hear about Idaho fossils or anything,
yes,
given
that would
specific
be cool.
questions. Yeah, absolutely. When people think of the state of Idaho, they think of, they probably think of potatoes or maybe, I don't know, maybe other kinds of geology too. But people often don't think of dinosaurs, and that's something that really we should change because we do have dinosaurs here.
There's a lot of potential.
Yeah, seriously. So yesterday, that site that we visited, the Ammonoid site, that was from just after the Permian extinction, like 1 million years after.
Yeah, about 1 million years after the Permian extinction. It's called the Mecoceros zone of the Thames Formation. West of what was North America at the time, a little bit out to the ocean, and it's full of ammonoids, which are basically just a slightly less, I don't like to use more primitive ammonite.
I feel the same way. You
don't
use the word basal, but primitive just sounds like a loaded term. It's it makes them seem less than or something like that. But that was really neat, seeing this kind of recovery fauna just from maybe 1 million years after the greatest mass extinction in Earth history.
Yeah, let me grab an ammonoid.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. Cool.
There we go.
And Big Tuna Neil wants to know, are there full skeletons found of this dinosaur or only pieces? Talking about Orictodromius.
So we have, for Oricto, pretty good sample of the skeleton. Overall, we're missing a few skull bones and some of the chevrons, which are the bones that articulate on the bottom of the tail vertebrae.
Yeah.
But Oricto is fairly well represented. I've got a paper in the Journal of Vertebrate Paleontology that should be coming out within the next year that goes through the whole skeleton of this animal. So it's pretty well known. The other Idaho dinosaurs, they're damn stubborn. It's hard to get a good sample. This notosaur will be substantial as soon as we can get it prepped.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't realize
that. Yes, there's a good bit of hind limbs, forelimbs, and vertebrae. And I have no idea. Maybe a skull if we're lucky. We'll see.
Is that from terrestrial or marine sediments?
It's terrestrial sediments, Wayan Formation.
Nice.
Terrestrial
okay.
Still.
We've got some notosaurids from California, but they're marine.
The bloat and float ones?
Exactly. It's so weird, these big, chunky armored dinosaurs, for whatever reason, they float out to sea often and sink down to the bottom and get preserved in marine sediments. That's cool that you've got a terrestrial one, in the environment that it lived in. I'm
really excited for it. I'm impatient, so.
That's going to be really cool.
Okay, so I'll show you the ammonoids here if this shows up. So, the Mecoceros zone is basically a death assemblage, death horizon of ammonoids. And it's got, I don't know much about ammonoids. I've got good friends, Kevin Byland and Jim Jenks, that have shown me some of this stuff, and I've been lucky enough to work with Dr. Arnaud Breard and Jim and Kevin and their team and some of the Triassic sediments here. Look up the Paris Biota if you have a chance, if you're interested in extinction recovery. But these are a bunch of ammonoids that you find in a death assemblage horizon in the rocks right after that big extinction. And it's cool, if you crack the rocks open, then you'll, if you're lucky, as Danny saw yesterday, you'll just have a bunch of ammonoids sitting there.
Yeah, I wasn't able to find any really pretty ones. I don't know.
It's hit and miss. So.
It is, yeah. It's it feels like a crapshoot. They're gorgeous. That is. Yeah, that's really, really neat. Cool. And these guys ammonoid at the end of the Cretaceous.
Yep.
Nautilus are not ammonoids, right? They're a different group
as far as I recall, off the top of my head,
Yeah, interesting. So yeah, I don't know. These are kind of, we were talking yesterday, like one of the holy trinity of fossils for collectors.
Yeah, it's ammonites, trilobites. That's what I'm usually told, but
Yeah, awesome stuff. It was so cool. Thank you again for taking me out there.
Yeah, happy to.
Yeah, time since I've been out in the field, and so that was a nice little, just a few hours jaunt, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
So if any of you guys are ever out in Idaho and you want to see ammonites, let me know.
Yeah,
Plenty
awesome.
of them.
Cool. And we're getting a raid here, which is when, so a raid on Twitch is when another streamer ends their stream and they bring a bunch of new people in.
Oh, nice.
So like they're ending their broadcast and they're saying, hey everybody, let's check this out. So
cool, thanks.
Zot Shop, thank you so much for the raid. 25 new people in here. Welcome to Paleontologizing. My name is Danny Anduza. I'm a dinosaur paleontologist. I'm on this big road trip going across the United States, talking to other paleontologists, visiting museums and stuff, and having technical difficulties, which is why we're not streaming from the museum today. But I'm here with LJ Krumenacker, who's an Idaho dinosaur paleontologist. Well, would you call yourself a dinosaur paleontologist, or are you just a...
I don't know. I've diversified enough. I mean, dinosaurs are my bread and butter, but I'm doing stuff on. I'm helping out with trilobites and Permian-Triassic extinction, as we mentioned, and I'm working on a Eocene, about 50 million year old bird nesting site in Utah.
Ooh.
So I'm trying to diversify. I'm all over the place. I like dinosaurs, but anything fossil-wise is fun.
Yeah, awesome. It's funny, like in paleontology, it's so easy to... Everything's so integrative, like it's so easy to like get drawn into different areas and that kind of thing. So far, I've only really worked on dinosaurs, but one of these days they're going to get me in on marine reptiles or
those would be
something
fun,
like that. Yeah, might be digging some up in California at some point in the future, which would be cool. But yeah, anyway, yeah, thank you again for the raid, Zotchop, and welcome new folks. Great to have you here. Yeah, let's see. Why don't we talk a little bit about your experiences in Idaho? Are people surprised to learn that we have dinosaurs in the state here?
Yeah, people are surprised. When I was a kid, fossils, I remember checking books out of the library at school, and I'd look at the little fossil books, and they'd say, no dinosaurs are known from Idaho. And then finally, we found a few teeth. And that was kind of a managed to find a lot of stuff. But we're still not out, so I'm totally pro science outreach education. Say, hey, look, we've got dinosaurs now. For more. But yeah, this is the sort of thing a lot of local people don't think about. Something new like this Tyrannosaurid from the other day. We try and get the news out and get people interested.
I'm going to see if I can find your YouTube video so I can put that into the chat real quick.
Oh yeah, no worries.
If people want to look at your TEDx talk about Utah dinosaurs, which is really cool. I shared this with everybody, I think, last week. But yeah, if you want kind of a neat little kind of boxed up and packaged talk about Utah dinosaurs, then
or
here you
Idaho
go.
dinosaurs, yeah.
Oh, yeah. What did I say?
You're saying Utah. It's okay. I was like, Idaho, sorry.
Oh, sorry about that.
No,
Anyway,
you're okay.
There's that right there.
Don't make fun of me in the video because I had problems with the clicker, so I've never watched it. I feel self-conscious.
It's really good. Shoot. I don't know. TEDx talks are just one of those things. I've heard that often they're kind of like a cluster mess behind stage, and like, so I don't know. I think you did really well.
It was fun to do. I liked it.
Was that your first like big public talk like that in front of cameras?
First one in front of cameras with a spotlight on me. Holy hell! So
yeah. Was it hot? Like, because I've been under spotlight.
A little bit warm too. Yep.
They don't tell you that before you go on stage. And,
no, it was warm.
Yeah. Oh, and Izzy Black says, can you explain fossilization? I forget the term. And also, what's your favorite dinosaur? Izzy wants to know.
Okay. So do you want to cover fossilization, and I'll do my dino? So
yeah.
Go for it.
Well, I don't know a whole lot about fossilization and diagenesis, but basically, I don't know. In order to have, say, a dinosaur like this fossilized, first of all, it's got to die or have its body transported to a place where it's going to get buried and not be completely devoured by scavengers and that kind of thing. So you've got to bury it, and then over time, if it's really, really lucky, and the bones aren't disturbed or anything, basically, I guess groundwater seeps into the bones after it's buried, and then a lot of the organic material gets replaced by minerals. And yeah, fossilization, it doesn't seem like a super common event. Like, it's like kind of a 1 in a million shot.
It's like,
yeah, exactly, yeah. So it's almost like every fossil that we find is kind of a gift. It's a pretty yeah, but I don't know. I don't really work on fossilization. I'm more of on the biological side than the geological side, paleontology. So, Dave would actually be a great person to ask about this.
But and I can add a little bit.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
I mean, you've got where you get the bones, like Danny talked about, where you fill in the holes in the bones. You can get where you dissolve the whole original set of remains and you just have what's called a mold. And then you get minerals that flow in and make a cast. Maybe you guys made cast and mold fossils in clay as kids in school. Or you can just have the mold and nothing that's filled it in. You break the rock open and there's just the outside impression of something. You can have mummies. Technically, if it's more than 10,000 years old and it's in a dry environment, mummies would count as a fossil then. You can have kind of pickling like you get in amber, but there's all sorts of different fossilization, but those are just some examples.
Interesting.
As far as my favorite dino, if I don't count Ericto, because I feel obligated to count him, since he's my little project, Spinosaurus. T-Rex is overrated. Spinosaurus is controversial. But Spinosaurus is so different than most other theropods, I think he's pretty stinking cool.
Awesome. We definitely agree on that. Yeah, yeah, awesome. Good answers. And Izzy, thank you for the questions there. I'm trying to catch up. I'm kind of losing the battle to catch up to chat. So Zalek wants to know, since the speed of the planet slowed over time, I don't know if you know a lot about this, but I guess the rotation of the Earth is actually
slowly slowing down.
Yeah, I've read that like in the late Jurassic, there was like 377 days in a year or something like that.
I'm not sure. I think the days were like 22 hours, if I remember.
Oh, really?
Instead of 24.
Wow.
Off the top of my head, very loosely. But
interesting.
Yeah. So that's a good question.
But does that make a difference in fossils of trilobites versus dinosaurs? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Zalek. I don't know if I understand the question. Yeah, I'm going to move on here. Mr. Haggis wants to know, do the bones smell like anything? Well, I've dug up some Hell Creek fossils that do smell kind of weird. It might be the organic material inside.
Okay.
I remember digging up a Triceratops once, and I think it was one of the ribs kind of like open so you could see the interior, and there was kind of a weird kind of like earthy smell to it. Not like, for the most part, they don't smell. I don't know.
No, these not the ammonoids themselves, but when we dig up these ammonoids, a petroliferous oil smell. Actually, you'll notice sometimes. So, but as far as them smelling themselves, not usually.
Yeah. The more variant has a fantastic, like a doctoral thesis question here. Here's a question: how do paleontologists differentiate between dinosaurs and early birds? Holy cow!
Yeah.
Shoot, I mean, I talk about this sometimes. I mean, the fossil record for, like, early Maniraptorans and the earliest birds is so poor that, like, it's hard to really draw a line between when a Maniraptoran becomes when the birds actually split off.
Yeah, because there's so many examples of different taxa. So many different types. And I've heard it argued about a lot. I don't know if there is a good answer.
I mean, we need more fossils. That's, like... Yeah, that's almost a catchphrase on this channel. But yeah, we need more fossils and we need more people working on them.
And isn't it still debated if Archaeopteryx is technically bird or dino?
Like, it seems like every couple months there's a new paper that comes out. Like, oh, we've coded a new phylogeny. And like, nope, it's not a bird anymore. Like, yep, definitely is a bird. Just keeps going back and forth.
Okay, yep.
There are people like Greg Paul who think that Maniraptorans might all be birds.
Secondarily flightless, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. That's an intriguing idea.
Yeah,
That's really intriguing.
I mean, I guess take that just as how bird-like these dinosaurs are, that like it's really hard to draw the line between. So,
good question.
Yeah. Phoenix, thank you for resubscribing with the Prime sub. Really appreciate that, Phoenix. Appreciate your support. But yeah. And let's see, people saying they want baby raptor or mammoth pets.
Oh, that'd be cute.
That would be really cute, yeah. And Lone Mountain says, what's this, a traveling stream? Yeah, Lone Mountain, I'm on a big road trip right now. I was supposed to be streaming from LJ's museum in Pocatello, Idaho, and we had some technical difficulties. So he very graciously said, like, well, if you want to do a stream here, then let's do it. So thank you again.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This is awesome. And by the way, everybody, type in the LJ command, like it says in the title, to figure out how you can support LJ Krumenacker with his research and fieldwork and everything. Because
thank you, guys.
I don't know. Sometimes people ask me, like, hey, how can I support science and scientists with their work? Like, I don't know if anybody could get bigger bang for their buck than supporting you.
Prep the Notosaur.
We've got a brand new... I think it might be a new taxon, right?
I suspect for sure, but I'd be surprised if it's not. So there's not any. I think Animantarx from North America.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Cedar Mountain.
Support the publication and prep of a brand new dinosaur if you help LJ out. So
If you come by my house, I've got lots of cats. I'll give you a cat too.
the cat's here. Yeah, absolutely. Sneezing up a storm last night when I was sleeping on the couch, by the way. So thank you again.
Fine.
Yeah. Hello to you, XF Kirsten. Welcome back. Good to see you. Mayor Space says slow mode for chat. Well, we're past that point. I'm trying to catch up. And let's see. And Zalek wants to know, is the sedimentation rate the same no matter the geological epoch?
It is highly variable.
Yeah.
Super variable.
Yeah, it changes a lot. And it even changes geographically, too. Like, yeah, I'm getting into, like, sequence strat and stuff like that, and holy cow, does that stuff get complicated.
Well, it's like the rocks that Ericto was buried in here. They deposited super fast. The formation is about 3/4 of a mile thick and represents spitballing 5 million years.
Huh.
So, I mean, I'm gonna very, very roughly say 900 feet of sediment every million years, at least.
Interesting. 900 feet. That sounds about right for the Hell Creek, too, I think.
Yeah, I have no idea on the Hell Creek thickness, but...
It depends where you're at, but like if you're further into the basin or further out toward the Wiss.
Oh, yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. Anyway, Izzy wants to know, Spinosaurus was an apex predator, but it's still debated whether it was fully aquatic, right?
Yep, very hotly debated.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be probably half a dozen papers coming out about Spinosaurus just this year about that, including my own. But yeah. We had a question from Izzy about what formation LJ works in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's called the Wayan Formation, Wayan, named after a little tiny town called Wayan. Big surprise.
And that's how numerically about how old is that, you think?
It is around 100 to 95 million years old, give or take.
Gotcha. So like the beginning of the late Cretaceous.
Very beginning of late Cretaceous, yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Cool. Mr. Haggis says, what is your take on paleo in... I am pro paleontology. I don't know.
Yeah. Very supportive.
That's what we do. So, but Mr. Haggis wants to know, what are you studying? Yeah,
so Saurus. It's a little ornithopod. It's super rare. I found tons of sauropods now, which is annoying. I mean, they're awesome. I don't want to have to dig them up.
Sauropods are the great big long-necked plant-eating dinosaurs.
Yeah, you're giants.
The biggest creatures that ever walked the earth. They're a pain in the butt to dig up.
Oh, holy hell, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm looking for Nanosaurus specimens because they're very rare, and I want to know if they burrowed as well. So I'm looking for some of the taphonomic evidence, the preservational data we get with them. So I've been out, this is my second year looking for Nanosaurus, and same thing, it takes a lot of resources to get down to Utah, but I try to when I can. Haven't found hide nor hair of one yet, but I'm stubborn. I'm gonna keep looking. But I want to find that and see if they burrowed, because if you guys have talked about Bob Bacher,
not really,
a little bit. So he's a dinosaur paleontologist from the dinosaur renaissance. He found some Nanosaurus that he called Drinker, that he described as being as a burrow, but he's never published the specimens. The specimens disappeared, so I'm trying to find some more. But I think that Nanosaurus burrowed, and I think it's an ancestor of Erictos. That's one project. To be more vague or specific, I guess, I like doing taphonomic studies, looking at how organisms are preserved and why, and I like just finding new stuff.
Very cool. Yeah. I was going to say that Nanosaurus is the good nano. We talk about Nanotyrannus sometimes on this channel.
Oh yeah, different nano. Different nano.
You kept saying nano in the car yesterday, and I kept going, ooh, oh, different nano.
I'd be happy to find a little more of a Tyrannosaur, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, that's really neat. Did you suspect that a lot of these little ornithischian dinosaurs like this were burrowers?
I wouldn't be surprised. I think it's an ecological niche that kind of gets overlooked in dinosaur paleontology. It's super common with mammals, super common with extant reptiles, even some birds. And I expect that a lot of smaller ones may have just done that. You can't always tell from a skeleton if an animal burrows.
Right.
And recognizing a fossil burrow can be really hard if all the same type.
Yeah, we were lucky with the original Eryctodromeus, the holotype specimens, and the the lithology was different inside the burrow than in the surrounding rock. It was was it sandstone on the inside, or
I think it was a
different kind of
sandstone, mudstone outside, if I remember right.
Gotcha. So that's pretty distinctive. We were really lucky to have that. Very cool. Big Tuna Neil wants this for LJ. What is the thing that you show your students that is their favorite?
Favorite thing I show my students? Well, let's see here. I like to do this when I talk to kids. I have a T-Rex tooth that was swallowed and pooped out that probably gets the best reactions. It's digested, so I'm like, oh, here's a T-Rex tooth that came out the rear end of a T-Rex. It's a lot of different ways to interpret it. Kids like that. Other than that, when I take in this eryctoskeleton, then, when you have the whole skeleton of a little dino, it's pretty cool.
So was it acid etched? Is that how you can tell?
Yeah, it's acid etched. You can tell from the gastric acid.
That's very cool.
It's pretty nasty.
That's really neat. We would talk about that in the Judith all the time when we'd be finding all these hadrosaur spitter teeth. And we call them spitters because it's like the animal's chewing and then tooth falls out and it spits it out. But half the time their teeth are probably getting ingested and then pooped out.
Oh, so,
yeah. That's really interesting. Poop tooth is best tooth, says Big Tuna. Yeah. But yeah. And XF Kirsten says, today I learned I'm a kid. Oh, XF Kirsten also thought that was really cool. Because that's what she's saying. But yeah. And Nothing More Variant has a very important question. What's cuter, Spinosaurus or Eryctodromeus? I think I know the answer to this.
Cuter? Well, how do you want to define cute, though? I could be really semantic. No, Erycto's cuter. Yeah, I think so baby Spinos, those would be cute, though, swimming in your bathtub or something.
That would be really cute, yeah. Yeah. And Mr. Haggis says, we dug up some huge dinosaurs in Belgium also. Yeah, in Bernissar, the big iguanodon.
Oh, those are cool specimens, too.
Yeah, very, very cool. They have to keep them under really specific conditions because they've got pyrite disease. Yeah. Maybe that's something you could talk about too with your work with fossils. Do you have to keep constant temperature and humidity in collections like at Museum in Pocatello?
Yeah, no matter where you are, it's always better to do that just because as things get warm, they expand, and cold, they shrink, and you do that enough to an already fragile bone, it can be a problem. So basically, any museum, I think to be accredited, basically you have to have temperature control, don't you?
I think so, if it's going to be a federal repository.
Yeah.
Temperature and maybe humidity, too.
Yeah, definitely humidity.
I was talking to Nate about Carter County Museum set up with their repository status. But, yeah. And Mayor Spaces ask a scientist a silly question about cuteness, and he'll ask you to define. It's true.
That's me.
But yeah. Oh, and you're a biochemist. Very cool, Mr. Haggis. Very
nice.
Neat. Yeah. Nice. Cool. We've got a little bit of biochemistry just kind of starting up for dinosaur fossils, like with Mary Schweitzer.
Oh, yeah.
Molecular paleontology.
I'd be so hopeless. I don't know that stuff.
I don't either, yeah. Well outside my wheelhouse. Yeah. Let's see. Anywho. What else should we talk about? Let's see. Do you want to talk about those dryosaurs, or is that kind of under wraps for right now?
We'll just say that I've got someone nice that's donating some specimens to help me with research. Probably the most I can say right now, but
very cool. Yeah, that's really exciting stuff.
Yes, it is.
So I don't know. I just want to shout out the thank you, Claire Burr, for pulling up the LJ command again.
Thank you, Claire.
Appreciate it. If anybody has some spare change, I know a lot of people contribute to my stream and all that, and I really appreciate that. LJ could totally use some support, especially with how expensive gas is here.
Go find some Nanosaurus, yes.
Exactly, yeah. Because, I mean, shoot, it seems like whatever funding you get, you stretch really, really far. So if you want to support some excellent science and you want to get some good bang for your buck, help LJ out, and he would really, really appreciate that.
I do, and you guys will see, I'm not as tech savvy as Danny. Like, I didn't even know what the hell Twitch was till yesterday. But I'm going to set up a YouTube channel eventually where I'll put videos of just when I'm out doing field work, my dinosaur research and stuff. So
very cool.
So we can share that later. But
no, that's going to be awesome, yeah. And yes, Claire, we're going to keep the LJ command, so we can pull that up whenever we want. And is there a website for it, says Lone Mountain? How can people, like, get in contact with you or follow you?
So you can look me up on Facebook, just my name. I'm there just as a personal person. I don't have a science page, but you can look me up there. If you Google me, I have a Weebly page. It's my professional page. To contact me, and my last name's terrible, but it's just LJ Krumenacker @gmail.
Nice.
But you're welcome to reach out with paleo questions. If you just Google me, you'll see random, slightly incriminating things on the internet. So,
nice. Yeah. Are there any dinosaurs you would not want to work on?
Oh, I love finding sauropods, but there's no way in hell I want it. But again, being kind of a one-man show at the moment, I love little dinosaurs, because if you find a whole thigh bone of one of these little arthropods, it's like this big. If you find a sauropod thigh bone, it's the size of a car hood. So I like the smaller ones. Sauropods are cool. If I was to find one really important, I'd sort something out, but maybe I'd turn it over to some of my friends at BYU. So,
Nice. And you did fieldwork with BYU at one point, right?
Yeah, we did work in the Morrison. If you guys go to the BYU Museum of Paleontology in Provo, Utah, you'll see a giant apatosaurus that I got to help dig up. The pelvis is on display. It is the size of a kitchen table.
Oh, cool.
It's huge. But yeah, I helped BYU in the Morrison and Cedar Mountain formations.
Nice. I might actually get a chance to visit the BYU Museum. I've never been there.
It's good.
I've heard really good things. So yeah, a lot of Jim Jensen stuff is there, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Huh. Cool. And let's see. No, Lone Mountain says, Danny and LJ, I'm offering my web services free of charge if LJ wants to set up a website to promote the work and help with fundraising.
Yes, please. Would you mind emailing me at that LJKRUMENACKER@gmail?
LJ.
I really appreciate that, but yes, I'm tech stupid, so I appreciate that offer very much.
LJ Krumenacker. Does that look right? LJ Krumenacker @gmail.com?
I believe so. Yep, there we go.
All right, there it is in the chat. Lone Mountain, that is very generous of you. Holy
Thank
cow.
you, man. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, Lone Mountain said tier 3 subscriber to my channel, which is like, that's like, I think it's like $20 or $30 a month.
Wow. Thank you, Lone Mountain.
Thank you, Lone Mountain. Lone Mountain also, can we get a shout out for Lone Mountain? He makes knives live on Twitch.
I've got a cousin that does knife making. He was on Forged in Fire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's cool.
Very cool. Yeah, it's really neat stuff. He was talking about some of the like K-Bar style knives that he does, which I really like.
Oh, it'd be fun.
So people check out Lone Mountain there for sure. Mr. Agus says, do you also follow archaeology on humans? I don't.
Not really. I think it's interesting. I just don't have a lot of extra time. But sorry.
Yeah. Do you get that question all the time? Like, oh, you dig dinosaurs. You must be an archaeologist, right?
I made some comments the other day on a news story. So you guys get it right. It's paleo. So I was trying to be nice. So
you do have to make sure that they do that. Yeah. But yeah. And we do have a wonderful community here, Chow Bao. You are absolutely right. Yourself included. Thank you for your support, Chow Bao. And Neon Void wants to know which ones are smarter, humans or dinosaurs? I guess it depends which humans and which dinosaurs.
I teach 7th grade. It depends on the humans.
That's a good answer.
No, I'm sorry. I love my 7th graders.
Yeah.
Generally humans.
Yeah, I don't know. You might have some ravens that can figure out a puzzle faster than I could, but
actually, yeah, that's a good point.
But yeah, Lord Dino says my sister is going to BYU soon. This is really cool to see a paleontologist from Idaho, where I have lots of family there. It's especially fun as an aspiring paleontologist.
Okay.
That's super cool.
Lord Dino, your sister needs to do this. She's going to BYU, so Dr. Brooks Britt is a paleontologist there at the museum. Go in, ask for Brooks, walk up to him and say, Brooks, theropods suck. Ornithopods are better.
Oh no.
Please, have her do that for me. Brooks and I have a constant argument.
Really? That's really funny. Yeah. So let's see. Texas Cryptid says, 7th grade, you brave soul. I know, right?
I used to have hair.
Yep. But yeah. Dinosaur and the alien. I'm not sure what you mean there, Neon Void, but dinosaurs are from Earth, so there's your first difference between dinosaurs and something that's not from Earth, I guess.
I would love, if there's such a field exists right now, astropaleontology.
Yeah. Would you go up to
cool would
Mars
that be?
to look for?
Oh,
to look
hell
for
yeah,
fossils?
if I had the chance.
Yeah.
I mean, it might be kind of disappointing if it's just micros.
Yeah.
But astropaleontology, have a whole new planet and figure out the paleo. I wish I could do something like that.
That'd be really cool to watch somebody do that. I wouldn't want to do it myself. Like, there's not going to be any dinosaurs up there, so.
Sorry, I just jumped ship, but I'm like, no, that'd be awesome.
I'll become a micropaleontologist on Mars. Okay. But yeah. Izzy Black says, you are so underpaid for being a 7th grade teacher. You deserve mad respect. Agreed.
Thank you, Izzy.
Yeah.
I will refrain from comment since this is public, but I appreciate that. So.
Yeah. Thank you, Izzy. LJ wants to go to Mars. Yeah. That would take some more funding.
Yeah. I have to up it a little. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, yeah, digging up a Martian microbe would be a lot smaller than a sauropod.
That would be easy to carry in your pocket. So.
Yeah. But yeah. Let's see. What else should we talk about with regards to Utah paleontology?
Or Idaho paleontology.
Why do I keep saying Utah? I'm so sorry.
He's biased. Utah has better dinos. I'm sorry. No. It has more dinos. I'm not going to say better.
Yeah. Yeah, quantity doesn't equal quality necessarily.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know. Somebody was asking me the other day, like, oh, would a potato be considered a fossil because it's dug up, and the Latin word fossilis just means dug up?
I guess if you go to the old time definition, maybe.
Right, yeah. I know, Idaho famous for potatoes.
Indeed.
We should make it famous for dinosaurs, too. This is one of these things that...
We're doing that. We're trying to get a state dinosaur. I'm going to be working on, we want Ericto as the state dinosaur.
That'd be a great one.
That's a work in progress. We'll see. For some reason, politicians don't like doing that, but we'll try and prod them.
Yeah. I don't know. If you would like to enlist the help of this community once that push starts, let us know, and we'll write letters to...
Hell yeah. Any support.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. But yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think about... would be another good question with regards to Idaho paleontology.
What sort of other fossils do we have? I mean,
yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So I mean, I'm dinosaur biased, but one of the most famous fossils from Idaho, if you guys have seen Helicoprion, it's called the buzzsaw shark. Mm-hmm. The museum in Pocatello here, Idaho Museum of Natural History, has, I believe, the world's largest collection of teeth from the buzzsaw shark. If you type this into Google, it basically looks like an ammonite with a bunch of tooth crowns on it, and they get the size of a car tire. It's a very weird... And I don't know if you can technically say it's a shark. It's more closely related to a ratfish. Mm-hmm. But it's hypothesized these animals, the best we can tell with these weird headgear that they have, were eating giant ammonoids from the Permian. You find Helicoprion in the it's about 280 million years old. And I'm spitballing here, about the size of a great white at least.
It's huge.
But yeah, if you look up Helicoprion, I'll spell it for you.
Let me show them a picture, actually.
Oh yeah, here we go.
I think I can just
pull up the image.
Put this in front of the camera.
There you go.
But yeah, hopefully you can see that. Really, really weird animal. For a long time, we didn't know what it looked like because all we found were the tooth whorls, right?
Yep. All we had was the tooth whorls, and then shout out to Dr. Leif Tapanella and his colleagues at the Idaho Museum of Natural History. They CT scanned some of these teeth that were still in the rock, and it turned out you had the cartilage of the skull, equivalent of the skull in there, and they were able to show the placement of the teeth in the jaw. And same thing, if you guys email me stuff, I'll send you these papers or whatever. I do lectures on it for some of my classes I teach. I'll send you the lecture. Just shoot me that email again.
And Mr. Haggis says that is a painting. Let me show you a photo of one of the tooth whorls if you insist.
Yes, these things are awesome.
There we go. They are crazy. Let's see if we can find a good photo of that. One that's not a cast. Like that?
Yeah. That's one of the ones at the museum, I think.
Nice. Okay, is that the big one?
One of the bigger ones.
Yeah. Very cool. Just utterly bizarre fossil.
I mean, they look like ammonites until you're like, oh wait, no, there's teeth on the damn thing.
Super strange. So yeah. Izzy wanted to know, how do we stay cool when we're in the field? It's a good question.
I'm open to suggestions. I don't do well in the heat. Once it hits about 90, it's hard for me. But usually, so I used to be a paleontological consultant. That's mean that I would work in monitoring federal lands while people were building oil wells out in northeastern Utah, out near the Uinta Basin. And we had a little cold pack that you could actually put on top of your hard hat.
Nice.
We had to wear a hard hat, which was a pain in the butt. But we had something like that would strap in. Other than that, I've never found anything. And I don't wear a hard hat now when I'm out working. But if you know something, let me know. There's one Japanese student I knew. I won't name names, but we called him.
I know who you're talking about.
Because he had be out in the field with him, and it's 95 degrees, and he's got this long sleeve jacket on, and all of a sudden you'd hear bzzz, and you'd see the jacket start inflating. Because he had this cool Japanese jacket that was self-climate regulated, and I want one of those.
That's really neat. Yeah. Well, shoot, when I'm in the field, if it's a really hot day, I'll swap out my leather Australian slouch hat for a sun helmet, like a pith helmet, but not actually made of pith. And it's amazing how cool that can keep you. Just the slightest breeze will go up and then over the top of your head and around.
Nice.
Because it's kind of like a hard hat, where it's got the band around it, and then the actual helmet is like separated. There's a layer of air.
Okay.
And that's kind of amazing.
I should get something like that.
Yeah. I mean, they probably have them up at the surplus store in Idaho Falls. If next time you're there, check it out. But yeah. And physics says camelback. Yeah, camelback. I use a camelback in the field for hydration.
That would be good.
Yeah, I used to like put ice in it and then just have it like under my shirt, right up against my back, and like while the ice lasts.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice, but it'll only last maybe an hour or two. But yeah. All right, let's see here. Thank you, Claire, for posting the Helicoprion link for Wikipedia there. We love pointy animals there. It's, yeah, very cool. But yeah, you bet it's a pain cleaning out the camelback. It's not that bad, Space. I just put a few drops of, like, dishwashing liquid in it, and then use the spray nozzle from the sink, and then dry it out. It's not bad at all. As long as you only put water in it. If you put, like, juice mix or, like, Kool-Aid or something, then that sugar, like, bacteria loves to grow on it. That's not great. But yeah. And there you go, evaporation on a motorcycle. Yeah, Lone Mountain, that works too, if you soak your shirt with water. We used to do that in the Hell Creek, where we'd like, we had like water that we would get from the cattle pond, and then we just like soak a shirt in it and then put it on.
I've done that before. It helps.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. Let's see. I should ask you which different like states in the U.S. you've done field work in, because there's probably a pretty cool roster there, I'd imagine.
Field work in Montana. We looked at in Montana. There's rocks called the Blackleaf Formation. That's where it's basically the same as the Wayan, but you just cross state lines. It's got a different name. I've been in the Hell Creek just for fun a few times. In eastern Montana, it's been many years. I've done work in the Cedar Mountain and Morrison of Utah, and that's about as far as I've got for stuff. So. I'm always happy to go to other places. Just if I can fit it in, I'd love to. So.
Yeah, that's always how it goes. I was wondering if you have any advice for anybody, maybe any like curious young people watching right now who might want to get into science, or some people who maybe aren't so young and they want to get into science or want to know how they can support science.
Yeah.
What would be your advice for aspiring scientists?
I'd say for aspiring scientists, don't be shy and try and find some local scientists that do what you're interested in and talk to them. universities, even at high schools or middle schools, the science teachers. See if there's local clubs. And don't be afraid to reach out. Same thing, if there's something I can help with, you're interested in stuff, just holler at me. I've got tons of students. I'm happy to help and support people because science is fun.
Oops, I think we may have lost the camera. Let me check on this real quick. Connections look
We're
good.
back. There we go.
We're back? Okay.
Sorry about that. But yeah, hopefully the audio goes through. But yeah, don't be shy to reach out and just look for local people. Or if you can't find anyone local, just find someone the closest you can.
Yeah.
And reach out to that community of interest.
That's cool. That's very similar to the answer that I normally give. Like, if you can find a museum to volunteer for or something, then just try and get involved. Put yourself where the action is. And that's really what it's all about. So yeah. And Mr. Haggis says, what importance does paleontology have for the future? Well, shoot. I mean, paleontology gives us perspective we wouldn't otherwise have. Like, you know, I think there's an old phrase that, like, you can't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been.
Yeah.
Paleontology gives us that perspective. Like, shoot, knowing that the dinosaurs and a lot of their friends went extinct because of a big asteroid impact, that tells us, like, hey, we better be on the lookout for asteroids heading towards Earth because they're bad news. Yeah, stuff like that. Yeah.
I look at it as kind of what Danny said. I mean, you can see where you're going if you can see the past, at least get a better understanding. And you can see the diversity of life. I don't think there's anything wrong either with just liking something because you like it. It sucks going through life bored. If there's something you enjoy and it's interesting, run with it. Nothing wrong with that. And I think that's an underrated thing for
Like, just working on things for the sake of working on them.
There's
like,
nothing wrong with
sake of
being
curiosity.
happy. That way.
I agree with that, yeah. I don't know, I guess I'm used to kind of being defensive about this thing. Like, oh, it gives us perspective and it's useful.
Oh,
but,
I
like,
get you, yeah.
It's also just really cool, and that's very worthy of. Yeah. And Mr. Haggis says, I look at it in a more Darwinian way. Are you sure? Charles Darwin was a huge fan of fossils. He was all about fossils. That's where he got his ideas about evolution, like collecting fossils in Chile. And
he had a 5-year trip on a boat where he's like, yeah, just go out and collect fossils and look at animals. I'm like, I'm kind of jealous.
Exactly, that would be incredible.
Oh, I wish.
To have, like, some wealthy benefactors like, oh yeah, just come join me on this trip and, like, you know, pay for your food and everything, give you lodging, and just do all the science that you want, you know?
I think they had to eat a few rats on the boat, but other than that, it was
it's a boat trip, you know? Back in the day, I'm sure that was a delicacy.
Yeah.
But yeah. And let's see, Izzy had a question. Do you have a favorite rock or stone, given that you do a bunch of work?
Oh, let's see
like
here.
that?
Well, if I was to go stones or something, I'd have to go with a gemstone. I think sapphires are pretty. I want to take my kids to look for some sapphires in Montana.
Do you have them here in Idaho as well, or are you talking about, like, Yogo sapphires?
I was thinking Yogo sapphires, but here in Idaho we have the star sapphire. I think it is up near Spencer in eastern Idaho. I think that's the state gem. But I like pretty rocks too. My hates fossils, but she loves gems. So yeah, I think pretty rocks are awesome. I like, emerald sapphires. I'm not trying to sound like I want to get rich.
Again, liking something for the sake of it being cool, and yeah, gotta enjoy life. But yeah, let's see here. Alexano says, I just sent a paper off to co-authors in which we use predictions for conservation of turtles based on what we know from their distribution in the past and how climate might have impacted them in the last 100 million years of their evolutionary history. That can help us make these funky critters not extinct. Yeah.
That is excellent.
Yeah, that's
like that.
Very, very cool, Alexano. Yeah, shoot. Sea turtles especially are some of my favorite extant reptiles. They're like the last surviving. They're the only marine reptiles that made it through the KPG extinction.
They're fun.
It makes them really special. And yeah, so anybody who's working for turtle conservation, like, hats off to you. Like,
amen.
Salute. Holy cow. Yeah. And I completely agree with that, Claire, yeah. What life means, what it does, how it works and changes and grows. Paleontology gives us essential information about that.
I always look at that, I'm like, how alien is it, all these animals from the past? Like, oh, but that's still Earth, but there's such a variety of things that can come and go biologically. I think that's stinking cool.
Pretty extraordinary, yeah. And Selden Blake has a good question. They want to know, so do you guys always know to some extent what you'll dig up, or is it always an unknown until you actually uncover a fossil? Kind of a little column A, a little column B.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
You might have like a bone bed where you already know it's there and you say we need to go work it, and say it's like a hadrosaur, an Admonosaurus bone bed, and it's full of hadrosaurs and you're interested in it, that's where you want to work. For my stuff, a lot of it is going out and looking and then seeing is it worthwhile, like my work in the Jurassic Morrison of Utah, where again I don't know what I'm going to find till I find it, and it's 90% sauropods. And then you're like, well, that's cool, someone else might want to dig it up, so it goes in my permit report and I tell the landowner where it is. But if it's something I want, then I'll dig it up. If it's useful to someone else, paleos will share with each other. So
I mean, your work with Nanosaurus down in Utah and that area, like that's something that you're after, but you're going to find a lot of other stuff. Maybe
just about everything else I find will be non-nano.
Yeah. When I've gone out and done field work, there's always like some wish list items. There's some things that you really want to find, and if you're really lucky, you'll find them. But you never what you'll uncover. I guess it's part of the excitement, It's
kind of like Christmas in the desert. I don't know how to describe it. You don't know what you're gonna get, but probably something cool.
Yeah. Or Mountain says, "What's your favorite meteorite and why is it iron?" Because it's iron. I don't know. Yeah.
Meteorites are fun. I don't know much about them, but
I don't either. No, I went looking for micrometeorites once with a magnet.
Did you?
So like I went around a neighborhood. This is when I was staying with Denver and Liz in North Dakota, and like I climbed up by the roof on the ladder and like just ran a magnet along the gutters and like found some little micrometeorites and stuff like that.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Should try that. That'd be fun.
Yeah, it's really easy to do. Yeah, and then found a lot of brake dust from cars too.
Oh,
so much
actually,
brake dust just in the air.
How do you tell the difference? How would you recognize it?
The micrometeorites, they're just kind of like tiny little bits of gravel.
Okay.
And then the brake dust is like dust.
Okay.
Yeah.
Try that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, you can also, if you don't want to climb up there, you can just go to the downspout from the gutter.
I was just thinking that out.
Yeah, because the rain will wash it down there, and then they'll collect right there under the downspout. But yeah. And Izzy says, have you ever found a stone and a fossil next to each other? Like a gemstone, do you mean, Izzy? Usually we don't have a lot of gemstones. They don't tend to form in the same places that fossils get preserved.
I'll tell you one thing, Izzy, that's fun is in Australia they have opal mines where the fossil dinosaur bones, I've got a few clams like this somewhere from Australia where they're totally replaced by opal, so you have a fossil that's also gem grade opal that's really pretty.
There's a famous plesiosaur skeleton.
Oh yeah,
Kirby or Kirk or Eric or something like that.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but yeah, pretty cool. All opalized bone, really neat. Yeah, Mr. Haggis wants to know, will they bring the mammoth back or not? Ooh boy, I hope so, but I don't have high hopes for that necessarily.
It'll be. I don't know enough about it. I'd be slightly surprised if they pull it off, but it would be cool to see.
I mean, it's going to take years and years, just because I think the plan right now. This is like George Church and his project with the Colossal Company.
Oh, okay.
They formed a company to try and do this.
Oh wow! Okay.
And the idea is to take an Asian elephant and change the embryo using CRISPR in order to basically back engineer it into a mammoth. It's going to be a facsimile of a mammoth. It's not going to be a real mammoth, but it'll be a modified. And I don't know. It's an animal that's already endangered, so there's some problems with that. It's hard to get hold of laboratory animals if they're endangered. But also the gestation period for an elephant is what, it's 18 months or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
So it'd be 18 months between each iteration before you know that you did things right or did things wrong. It would be a multi-decade project, so I don't know. Yeah. I wish them all the best of luck, but I'm not sure it's gonna work. Yeah. But yeah. Mayor Space is making a joke. After the roofers replaced my roof, I used a magnet to pick up hundreds of nail-shaped micro all over my... Yeah, very rare. I hope you held on to those. Working on mammoths from different angles. Yeah, I don't know how many of those are still around Mayor of Space, but there have been multiple teams who've been talking about resurrecting the mammoth, and a faux mammoth, a schmammoth, says George from here. There you go, George. Yeah. And hey, Abogado, how are you doing? Long time no see. Welcome back. Good to see you. Yeah. And that is the plan, to kind of modify the tundra and like get rid of some of the trees that are growing up there, Mr. Haggis, to try and quell like methane emissions from when the tundra melts. That's the idea. But yeah. And Izzy says, is it wise to bring back mammoths if they went extinct due to climate change, I guess? Well, it might be that mammoths went extinct mostly from human hunting. That's still an ongoing debate right now about the Pleistocene. Do you have an opinion on the Pleistocene extinction?
Oh, I have an opinion. I can't say I'm educated. I myself have a hard time thinking that ancient humans could totally wipe things out. I'm sure they stress things. I have a hard time believing that, but at the same time, I'm a dinosaur guy, and I'm not as educated, and that's just my gut. And when you're doing science, you don't lead with your gut. So that's my opinion, but I don't have a way to back it up. I have a harder time believing that, and same thing, like Danny says, as far as I know, it's still hotly debated.
Oh, yeah. That's funny, because I'm like slightly on the other side of that. Like, I don't know. It seems like anytime humans show up somewhere, like all the megafauna just goes extinct.
I can see that.
But again, I don't work on Pleistocene megafauna, so my opinion isn't worth anything. It's a gut thing. So. And
with bringing the mammoth back, Izzy, too, what you're asking, I kind of wonder how well they would do, even if they're up there in the permafrost. How much unaccounted for differences we haven't thought about that might make it harder for it to live. Yeah. Plus, if it's that hybrid anyway, so.
You need stuff like gut flora. Like, people don't think about the microorganisms that allow you to digest your food. Like that. Yeah.
Who knows how much that's changed?
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. And Not the Brain says, is that tiny dinosaurs I can hear in the background? Yeah, let me show everybody the birds again. A bunch of new people just came in. We've got 129 people watching right now.
Got some zebra finches.
Yeah, let's check them out, these little theropods.
Named Batman and Rico.
Not Batman and Robin.
Nope.
Batman and Rico. Hey, little guys. How you doing? Sorry, I don't mean to scare you. How are you? Very cool. Very, very cool. I'm surprised the cats haven't been making any appearances.
Well, here, let me show you if you want to see how Spock likes to look at the birds. Come here, Spock. If they don't mind a random diversion.
No, that sounds great.
Here, buddy.
We love random diversions on Twitch.
This is what we do, because he loves to look at the birds. So you can tell he's getting excited. That way, he can look at them, but he can't get out. But anyway,
I'm not sure how much they like that.
Yeah. There you go, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah.
That's how he likes it.
Can we say hi to Bob too?
You can say hi to Bob, sure. I don't do that with the birds, but sure.
Hey there, Bob.
Now we're just showing off cats. So.
Yeah, of course. They help run things around here, so they should.
Yeah, they're in charge, they think.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Let's see. Any other fossils or like 3D prints or anything you'd want to show off?
I think that's about it for now.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the Erycto stuff, so yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. And Texture Splunky. Hey, thank you for the compliment there. This is excellent stream, fellas. Appreciate that, Texture. You're new here, right? I don't think I've seen your name before. Well, welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed. Yeah. And let's see here. And thank you, Claire Burr, for reposting that. We missed that question from Nothing More Variant. They wanted to know, have either of you ever encountered a pre-dinosaur fossil? Or earlier? So like dinosaur ancestors or?
Yeah. looked at early Triassics. And what was really cool, though, too, is these might be like swim tracks, or I guess you'd call them slide tracks, but you'd see where the foot was, then you'd see where the animal slid down and drug its claws. So you have like claw trails.
Very neat.
Attached to the footprints.
Like walking up an incline, or is it like a swim trace?
I'm assuming more of a swim trace. I'm not super good
Cool.
with paleo-ichno, but I'm assuming swim trace. As far as vertebrates, pre-dinosaur, that would be just about it for me. So,
And I don't think I've never dug up any like pre-dinosaur archosaurs or anything like that. I've helped prep some and helped like stabilize some in collections at UCMP in Berkeley back when I was in high school. Some stuff from the Chinle Formation, so like late Triassic of Arizona. But yeah, I never really worked on any pre-dinosaur archosaurs or anything like that.
it would be fun. I'd love to work on some Permian synapsids and stuff.
Yeah.
If I had that option, that would be pretty cool.
Do we have any like terrestrial Permian strata here in Idaho?
Not that I am aware of. I think it's all marine.
Yeah.
But even some Dimetrodon or Pelycosaurus, however you pronounce it. Those
Yeah.
guys would be fun to work with.
Totally, they're really charismatic critters. Yeah. But yeah, shoot, what kind of Mesozoic strata do we have in Idaho so far?
Idaho's got a pretty good representation. You've got plenty of marine, Triassic, maybe a little bit of terrestrial, marine Jurassic, and then terrestrial Cretaceous. Pretty good fossil record. It's something, again, that hasn't been looked at a lot. And that's one of my career goals here is by the time I'm in the grave, hopefully I've gone through the whole Mesozoic column and found a bunch of vertebrates. But I think there's a lot of potential. People just haven't looked here a little bit. So.
Cool. So what would it take to actually get more people out there and solve that
It may
problem?
not seem much.
More funding, more people at the museum.
What museum is that?
Idaho Museum of Natural History.
Yeah, in Pocatello.
Yeah, if I can ever get a tenured professorship someday, then I would actually have funding and have students. I want to mentor students and have them out there doing this sort of thing. I like mentoring students. I think working with them that way is fun. As long as I don't drive them crazy, and if I do drive them crazy, I'll take pleasure in it. So,
Very cool. Yeah. How did you get involved with the museum in Pocatello in the first place?
so it's back when I was in middle school or high school, and I just started bringing fossils in and showing them to the paleontologist there, and he'd help me identify them. And he kind of said, "Oh, so you like dinosaurs?" I'm like, "Yeah." And I've still got a letter from him somewhere, but he's like, "Come in and we'll hook it up so you can start looking for Idaho dinosaurs." And that was
That's super
right
cool.
around high school-ish, give or take. So.
That's really neat. Now, we've been going for a while now. Do you want to wrap things up pretty soon, or you
Whatever
get tired of
works
talking,
for
or-
you and your audience. So.
I think maybe we'll go for a little bit longer if that's cool with you.
Yeah.
People seem to really be enjoying this, so yeah. Yeah. And let's see here. And thank you for the follow, whoever that was right there. I can't actually see. But yeah, and we're not in the museum right now, so I really can't show you a whole bunch of fossils, Mr. Haggis. But we've got some ammonoids right here. I don't know, unless you have something else that just might be happening to lie around that you'd want to show off. But we're not in the museum, so it's kind of, tricky. But yeah, and nothing more variant. You're biased towards very early critters. They are super cool oftentimes.
Oh, yeah.
Early representatives of certain groups are really neat.
Farther back, the weirder life gets, at least in my opinion. It's kind of cool that way.
It gets more and more different from the present, so yeah. Anyway. And Selden Blake has a good question. I think this will be great for both of us. How much does new technology improve your work, making it easy? Or is it the same hard work as 20 to 30 years ago?
Oh, that's a good question.
I'd say it's the same hard work as 120 years ago, maybe. in a lot of
as far
cases.
as prospecting and collecting stuff, it hasn't changed.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot that you can really improve about the process of like walking around and staring at the ground with your eyeballs.
You can get some sort of weird scanner someday in the future where you know something's totally subsurface, but who knows? That'd be awesome.
I actually heard that's how they discovered animantarchs.
Yeah, they actually used some sort of radioactivity sensors.
Because apparently there's some fossils in the Cedar Mountain that is Cedar Mountain, right? Yeah, that are like mildly radioactive.
And the Morrison.
And the Morrison too, yeah.
Fairly
famously.
radioactive, yeah.
There was a game that I played on stream that just came out a little while ago called Dinosaur Fossil Hunter, and it's like a dinosaur paleontology simulator.
Oh, nice.
It's goofy, but it's really fun, and like you could tell the people who made it, like I don't know, they really love dinosaur paleontology and they wanted to like try and share that with people.
Cool.
But in that game, you have a little Geiger counter and you use that to find fossils.
Oh, really?
It's really funny. So yeah, it doesn't really work that way, everybody, as I kept saying. But
well, I can say one thing that technology has improved is like the casting and molding process of dinosaur replicas.
Yeah.
Being able to scan stuff now and 3D print.
Oh yeah, like our Rictodromius right
Yes,
here. Yeah.
like this guy
yeah.
is so much less time intensive, at least for getting the data. Mm-hmm. And being able to scan and have 3D models of specimens, like if you have giant long-necked sauropod dinosaur bones, instead of trying to handle these in some ridiculous way, just having them in a computer program where you can see how they articulate and move around, that makes a big difference. That's something I want to do with the Rictos, is get some 3D models and look at how they move that way.
That's super cool. Did you see that new paper about it may have been like last summer or something, that new sauropod from Australia where they all the bones and they like undeform them in the computer?
I haven't seen that.
It's super cool. Like it's really interesting, but also they have all these new methods for like studying sauropods using 3D scans and that kind of thing.
That's cool. I'll have to look that one
really
up.
really neat, and it's open access too. So, yeah. Let's see. What are other questions here? Let's see. Lilma the Will says, "What is your favorite spooky critter, and what do you think is the spookiest?"
Spooky critter?
What does that mean?
Let's see.
A lot of invertebrates kind of creep me out sometimes.
I'm thinking Anomalocaris from the Burgess Shale.
There you go. That's a good answer.
It's a very, very weird arthropod. Or Opabinia, because it's got 5 eyes.
Yeah, and
So
that
there
weird
you go.
like vacuum nozzle
Wait.
mouth.
Here, I'll show you.
Yeah.
I've got a stuffy Opabinia and an Anomalocaris.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Got some plush fossil critters here. Hang on just a second. LJ will grab them.
Yeah.
Oh, those are super cute.
And all the nerdy stuff. Here's an Anomalocaris.
Yeah.
Swimming arthropod.
It's the top predator of the Burgess Shale, right?
Top predator of the Burgess Shale.
Yeah, those big feeding appendages at the front.
There's the mouth right here that stick out. I dressed up like this for Halloween for my college students.
It was pretty funny. It's
pretty good.
Yeah, it was really well done.
Opabinia is similar. It's got one trunk with the 5 eyes. But yeah, if you want creepy, these guys are creepy cute.
They're just weird, and they're from like 550 million years ago or something like
About
that.
510. give or
510,
take, so.
yeah. So long before the first dinosaurs. But yeah, pretty neat.
Have their charms.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah. And Izzy wants to know, how can you tell what species of dinosaur you might have based on just a few pieces of fossils? And oh man, isn't that the question? That's a way to get paleontologists to argue with each other.
Well, here, I'll show you.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I can show you one thing. Let me get one of these isolated erecto bones.
Cool.
Set here.
And Lilma the Will, I can spell those for you. Opabinia and Anomalocaris. There you go. Oh yeah, and sea scorpions are... I don't know if that's the kind of critter I'd want to encounter in life, Izzy Black. I think you're onto something there. Yeah, ooh. Some of the biggest arthropods that ever lived.
Just a second, I'm going to go get a cast of that Tyrannosaur femur.
Oh, cool.
Published on, so.
And Mr. Haggis, no, we've got tons of fossils from sponges. Yeah. Those are pretty common as invertebrate fossils for sure. Yeah. Izzy says, I don't want to say what the captions are for saying those names. Yeah, there you go, Izzy. And what sort of stuff did these guys eat, Lilma? The Will wants to know. Probably smaller critters, maybe like little trilobites, and maybe our ancestors, things like Picaya.
Yeah.
Little wormy chordate ancestors may have been prey for critters like that. Oh, very cool.
Okay, so Izzy, you're asking from isolated bones. Can be kind of hard, but I'll give you an example here.
Nice, very nice.
So here's a cast of an Eryctodromeus femur. This is a right femur, and this is a left femur from a Tyrannosauroid we just published down here in Idaho from the same age as Eryctus. He probably ate some Eryctos. But these are both thigh bones. But if you look at them like this, you can see the femoral head right here is a lot longer and different than this femoral head. You can look at them this way and see, and this is hard because it's just partial. You've got this thing right here called a fourth trochanter, the muscles attached to for moving the leg. And you see how it's a nice triangle on this bone? On this Tyrannosaur, it's this very subdued ridge like that. So to identify an animal from just one or a few bones, you have to know the anatomy really well, and you have to get very nitpicky about the details. But you can do it. But sometimes it's just super hard and you can't. But more often than not, if you have a complete bone, you can at least narrow it down to a group. But it just takes a lot of practice learning your animals.
It's kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like getting to know them in the way that you get to know a friend, where like you learn all their little quirks and everything.
Yeah.
And you just be able to recognize them based on those quirks. Sometimes at a glance like that. It's just all a question of like becoming familiar with them, and yeah. So I don't know. That's why people like LJ, their knowledge are super, super valuable, because you know, like you specialize. I mean, you've done a lot of work on ornithischian dinosaurs like this, and on smaller ornithopods, and I don't know. You've garnered a lot of expertise over the years.
And that's what co-authors are for this Tyrannosauroid. Shout out to Hans Seuss and Lindsay Zano that helped me with this, because they're the ones that I enlisted because they know their Tyrannosaur anatomy to help me pick apart and figure out if that's what this was. So.
Yeah, I mean, these things can take years and years to learn, to really become familiar with. So that's why co-authorships are so important.
Yes.
Like, nobody knows everything, so we've all got to like enlist the help of our friends and colleagues, and that's why science is such a collaborative process, you know. So I'm going like this, like they're in conflict. No, collaborative, like this. That's at conferences. But yeah. Let's see. Let me try and catch up to chat here. I think we missed some questions. An avocado. There you go. I'm not like other shrimp. I'm an anomalocaris. That's what the name means. It means strange shrimp.
Good job.
Yeah. Excellent. And Oscar Jr. says, how common is radioactive dating in paleontology? That's a good question. I'm not quite sure how to answer it. Like, as a paleontologist, I've never done any radioactive dating myself. That's like, kind of let the geochronologists handle that, the people who are specialized in that kind of thing. Have you ever collected any zircons or anything for
I've
dating?
done it. So, I mean, you've got relative dating, which is something that makes family reunions really awkward. But radioactive, I always use that bad joke with my students. I'm sorry. Radioactive dating, actually, for my master's degree at BYU, we collected zircons and processed them where the uranium decays into lead, and did the fancy math work, which I couldn't describe off the top of my head. But we did that to figure out how old the rocks were that we were finding Erycto in. And we had somewhere around 100 to 95 million years. And that is fairly common, especially if it's a new dinosaur. And they can narrow it down chronostratigraphically, is what you'd call it, and get some zircon crystals or something to sample. They'd like to do that. It just depends on the funding the scientist has, how important it is, and if it's something new, they might do it a little bit more. So.
Yeah, I mean, I should emphasize too that like we can't directly date dinosaur bones themselves, because like carbon dating and stuff like that only works to, what is it, like 50,000 years?
Yeah, not very far back. So.
Yeah, so like long after the death of the dinosaurs. So you've got to find zircons or radioactive ash or something like that kind of surrounding your fossils, kind of bracketing them if you want to get a date on them. It's a little more complicated than for more recent stuff, like the La Brea tar pits. You could directly radiometrically date that stuff.
Yeah.
We have to work a little bit harder for dinosaurs.
Yep.
But yeah. Anyway, and Izzy says, "Are you sure you aren't from Louisiana, Mr. LJ? Because I had one of those reunions." Izzy is from the South.
Okay. Not as far as I know. Maybe some ancestry in Pennsylvania and Germany, but we'll do that.
But yeah, anyway, I think with we might go ahead and wrap things up. This has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much for agreeing to this. Really, really appreciate it. It's been awesome interviewing you and getting your perspective on stuff. And if people want to support you, could you maybe talk about some of the exciting stuff that you've got going on that, I don't know, so many scientists, especially people who have like tenure track jobs and stuff, sometimes it seems like they have more funding than they have ideas occasionally. You're like
opposite.
Exactly. You've got so much going on, and the thing that's holding you back is funding and time. So like, can you talk a little bit about some of the stuff that you're excited about for the future?
So for the future, one project I just started 2 years ago, we just put in an abstract for a meeting this year on, is a 50 million year old bird rookery. And what I mean by rookery is it looks like to be a place where the birds were laying their eggs and having their kids and hanging out. And we've got a spot in Utah where for at least about 1,000 feet in this ledge of limestone, you've got bird eggshell everywhere from 50 million years ago and bird bones. And it looks like this is a big nesting area that was used about 50 million years ago in what's called the Green River Formation. That's a new project I'm working on. Of course, I'm doing the Nanosaurs project, looking for the super rare dinosaurs in Utah. I'm working on a new species of Cretaceous crocodile from Idaho that probably ate some erectos. We've got this nodosaur. I want rocks in Wyoming that are the same age as these Idaho dinosaur rocks. I'm working on Cambrian trilobites with some people. I'm working on the recovery from the Permian extinction. If you guys look up what's called the Paris biota, you'll see some talks I've given on that. Not Paris, Idaho, but the lovely metropolis of, Paris, Idaho, but not Paris, France, is what I mean, okay? But that's an important post-recovery or post-extinction recovery thing I'm doing. I've got a million projects, but yeah, that's all stuff I'm looking at, working on. If you want papers or want to know about this stuff, same thing, look me up on Facebook. I'm friendly. Gmail me, and I'll send you some papers, anything like that there.
Awesome. You talk maybe a little bit more about the nodosaur in particular, because I think people would be really excited about that.
So if you guys don't know what a nodosaur is, sorry, I kind of slip into sciencey stuff, but nodosaur is like your ankylosaurus, your big armored dinosaur, not stegosaurus, but your other armored dinosaurs with the spines on the side. And the largest dinosaur that we have from Idaho is this undescribed so far species of nodosaur. We've got backbones, leg bones, I'm hoping a skull. We've got like 6 or 7 plaster jackets to still open. And this is a big project I'm trying to get going right now because it's going to probably be a brand new species. I'm just trying to get students that I can find at ISU that can do the preparation work on it. So if anyone's local and going to ISU and wants to work in the lab there, shoot me an email, please. We can get you hooked up. But that is one of my most exciting projects right now. The rock is hard as concrete. It's going to take years. But the more people we get working on it, the faster it happens.
And that's super cool because you've got a new dinosaur from Idaho. Mm-hmm. You already have it. You just need to clean the rock off from it and get it studied and then get it published. I mean, that's super exciting. So yeah, if anybody watching right now, if you've got some spare change, if you'd like to contribute to dinosaur paleontology, if you want to see a new armored dinosaur published from Idaho, then please contribute to LJ's PayPal there. He would really appreciate it, and that would be really awesome. So super cool stuff. Also follow LJ on Twitter. There's the
I always forget I'm on Twitter now.
Yeah. There's the link to his talk about dinosaurs from Idaho as well that I just posted in the chat. Holy cow. Thank you again so much, LJ. Really appreciate
Thanks, Danny. I appreciate
interview
it.
and everything. This has been super cool.
Thank you guys for your questions. I like doing this. So.
Yeah.